But take a look at this. We could produce a beautiful to-do list of our code. Here it is. Here in our quiz game, we've taken in an object here with the name Wilm and score 3, and we grab the player's name. We then take their first name. We're then going to proper case it. We're then going to add or prepend a label saying this is a user. We're then going to create a DOM element or an element ready with that data in it. And we can then take that and render it to the web page. And people, look at the beauty of this. Look at this beautiful, readable style of code. No mysteries here what our code is actually doing. But to do so is going to require us to wrangle our code, our little mini baby blocks of code, our little mini functions in some pretty interesting ways. It's going to require us to rejoin those lines of code up into full-size tasks. We see a preview of it here. We're going to make sure that those little blocks of code are really reusable. Once you break a task down to little baby steps, you can actually reuse those steps all over the place. But if you're going to be reusing them all over the place, you probably want to make sure they're independent of anything around them. And that's exactly what we're going to have to do today. You're going to start off with higher order functions and function composition. As I say, a lot of those little atoms of code can be reused all over the place. How we combine them up is going to depend on higher order functions and function composition. Most of those tasks, things like incrementing a number, looping through an array, they're typical tasks. We can couple them up again, use them again. Write them once, keep it dry, don't repeat yourself, use them again. As I say, if we're not going to be using that function only once in one place, but all over the place, well, we better hope that they're independent and not relying on bits of data outside of them. We're going to need to understand purity of functions and state immutability. And if we're going to be coupling up code and have those perhaps be running one after another, not controlled by us, but controlled by some other functions, we may need to do some pretty interesting things that adjust our existing saved functions. Maybe give them extra powers. Function declaration with the help of closure and partial application with the help of closure are going to be our main techniques. But if we can do it, we're going to end up with code that is more readable. Every single line, oh, so beautiful. I know exactly what it's doing. Easy to debug. Every single line, nicely labeled, and an individual unit whose only consequence is going to be on the next line, not the rest of the application. No mysteries of what each line does and the risk of it damaging the rest of our app. And easy to add features. We take these little baby functions, these little baby units, we combine them all back up. We don't have to rewrite the components, we just join up pre-written components. And that's exactly what we're going to see today. It's going to allow us to build out applications where functions are reusable, versatile, flexible little portions of code, independent, self-contained, and predictable steps, passing data from one to the next, to the next, to the next. But it all starts with us being confident with the core principles of JavaScript.